Thank you for joining me for my on-demand presentation, Customized Assessments vs. HECVAT, Streamlining Vendor Risk Management in Higher Education. The agenda today covers an introduction, then a dive into custom questionnaires. From there we will proceed to the HECVAT, and finally we will end with a comparison and general discussion on the three main vendor risk management options. Today we're discussing a critical process in higher education, addressing the security and privacy risks posed by third-party vendors within the LMS. According to O'Reilly's latest Adoption Technology Trends for 2025 report, governance, risk, and compliance surged by 44%, with an interest in application security growing 17%. According to the report, there is a significant shift toward comprehensive security strategies within the organizations. Assessing security for LMS integrations is one of these strategies in higher education and the one we will be discussing today. Also, many vendors are looking at or have already begun integrating AI in one form or another. As a result, there is a need to ensure that our sensitive institutional data and the personally identifiable information or PII of our students, staff, and faculty are adequately protected, ensuring that AI is used ethically in our instances. At the University System of Georgia, we have a priority to ensure that our student data is not used to improve the AI models for training. Historically, institutions often created their own questionnaires and processes before the HECVAT was created in 2016. Today, there are multiple options like custom questionnaires, the HECVAT, or a combination of the two. Today's goal, we will explore the characteristics, advantages, and disadvantages of customized security assessments, the HECVAT, or a hybrid option utilizing both. Before I dive into our topic, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is William Eminen, and I have the pleasure of working for the University System of Georgia, where I support learning management system administrators with updates, troubleshooting, and third-party integrations. My area of expertise is in third-party integrations, and you can find my contact information on this presenter slide. The biggest advantage of custom security questionnaires is the ability to be highly tailored and quickly altered to assess a vendor's security and privacy posture. I've listed some examples that we have found helpful to include in our custom questionnaire, which are not found in the HECVAT, and this is not an exhaustive list. You can determine the vendor's details like how long they've been in business, and is the vendor a partner with your LMS provider, in our case D2L. You can also find out integration details like what integration method is used. Is it LTI 1.1, 1.3? Is it an API using OAuth 2? Is it at the org level or lower? I will concede that it is possible that some of these details are in the HECVAT, but you have to go searching through the attached documentation. Finally, you can ask for the details on what encryption methods are used and discover if there is a need for a dedicated administration role. Then you can get the details about what permissions are required. At the University System of Georgia, we find it unacceptable for any external vendor to have administrator level permissions. You can find out, is the vendor willing to do additional contractual obligations like a FERPA agreement? And ultimately, you can quickly adjust to laws and regulations. Despite the benefits of a custom security questionnaire, there are some drawbacks. For example, I was recently told by a vendor that the fact that they must fill out our custom security questionnaire will lead to the cost of the integration being increased for our students. Unfortunately, this is the price of doing business within higher education. Additionally, I am seeing a rise in the number of vendors that are either not willing to fill out a custom questionnaire or vendors that are requiring a minimum contract to fill one out. Often, this minimum contract ranges from $5,000 to $7,000. Since custom questionnaires are different than the HECVAT and are not standardized, institutions should expect prolonged review times. For us, that usually equates to a minimum of 29 business days and a maximum to over a year and a half, depending on how responsive the vendor is. I admit that the extra review time has caused more than a few integration plans to be delayed by at least a semester, and it can have a demotivational factor for internal clients. The final disadvantage is vendors often ask for NDAs to be signed before they will answer a custom questionnaire. The Higher Education Community Vendor Assessment Toolkit, or the HECVAT for short, was created by leaders in higher education in collaboration with EDUCAUSE, Internet2, and Ren Isaac. The goal of the HECVAT is to help institutions make better technology decisions faster, and this is truly its biggest benefit. The HECVAT version 4 added AI and privacy questions with an enhanced scoring mechanism. The advantages of using the HECVAT are a standardized format, and since this is standardized, vendors can theoretically complete this once and then just send those documents to all institutions that ask to review it, and it should result in cheaper integration costs for both the vendor and the institutions. The two major drawbacks of the HECVAT are the update cycle is outside of your control and it is generic, so it may not address all of your cybersecurity team's requirements. There is no perfect option. There are advantages and disadvantages to all options. Ultimately, the institution should make the decision of whether they require the custom questionnaire, if they can use just the HECVAT, or if a combination of the two is needed based on their threat posture preference, which should include any federal, state, local laws and regulations. To sum up the advantages and disadvantages of the three options for the custom questionnaire route, the disadvantages are it usually takes the longest, vendors often require NDAs, some vendors have contract minimums, and there are some vendors that just refuse to complete one. We have found it useful to have an exception pathway for our campus CIOs to pursue. The advantages are this is an agile approach that can quickly be changed to provide the exact granular detail required to meet our security needs. For the HECVAT, the disadvantages are institutions must wait for the update cycle of the HECVAT if something isn't included in there, and it might not cover all security assessment needs. The primary advantage is the speed to review the document as it fulfills its true purpose. The disadvantages of the hybrid approach are a mixed bag by suffering to lesser extents the disadvantages of the others. For example, there is a possibility vendors won't complete, or there are contract minimums for any custom questionnaire portion. Also, this custom questionnaire portion will require additional time. On the flip side, the advantages are it fits any security posture preference, but contingencies may need to be made for companies that don't use the HECVAT. I have known other institutions to use this route and be very satisfied. On a final note, from my experience as a school system that initially started down the custom questionnaire route before the HECVAT was created, I can say that there are challenges to migrating over to the HECVAT. But despite the drawbacks of not having a standard form and elongated review times due to our custom questionnaire route, our greatest benefit is the ability to alter our custom questionnaire on the fly, and we have had great success and been very happy with our options and our security threat postures based on our custom questionnaire route. Thank you for watching this presentation on customized assessments versus HECVAT, streamlining vendor risk management in higher education. I hope you got some information that will help you wherever you are in the process. If you have any questions or would like to connect to discuss experiences, feel free to contact me. I'm also happy to share our customized questionnaire as a reference. My contact information is on slide 4. And enjoy all the wonderful presentations at Fusion 2025. Bye.